All right, friends, as we continue our update here, we have moved on to the Canard, and that's what we're working on next here. So what I did, before I show you the final product, what I did is I went ahead and I took a copier, and just copied the sections here left and right, put it on top of the wood, and then went ahead and cut out the patterns over here. Pretty straightforward. Now, the scallop portion, that's optional. You could do it if you want to. I'm not a fan of it. Very difficult to cover. And but it adds something to it. So, but you could also go through, if you didn't want to cut the scallop, you could cut this out using your covering. So perhaps maybe, for example, maybe this is a white and the scallop sections are black, and you really couldn't tell the difference unless you're up close. But anyway, so you can see our canard there. And what I did is I went ahead and already cut everything out. Roll up the plans here real quick. And you can see our final product right there. So we're going to go ahead, just do some sanding. We've got to do our elevator joiner, drill the holes for that, and of course do the slotting here for our elevator and our stabilizer. And more to come. All right, friends, as we continue our update regarding the canard and the elevators, let's talk about what we have going on here. So right off the bat, we can see we've got our leading edge nice and rounded off as we do our sides here, left and right side of the actual canard itself. The elevator, same thing. We got our leading edge nice and tapered at 45, and our trailing edges and the sides rounded off. Now, we don't round these off. We leave these sides square right here. Now, in the plans, let me show you something, folks. In the plans, you're looking at the canard right here. This is the horn, if you will, that connects the two halves of the elevator. And you can see that here. Let me move this out of the way. And they simply slide in place in holes that you drill right there, as you can see. Now, the only issue, not that that doesn't work, but the only issue is that, let me show you, we're looking at the top of the plans. This area here where the servos are going to sit, I need that area clear because that's where the battery is going to be. So right off the bat, this servo here controls the ailerons. Well, we know that we're going to be putting direct drive on our ailerons because we're going to put our servos in the wing itself. So that servo's gone. This servo controls the throttle. That's going to be gone because we're going with electric. This is the steering servo. That we should be able to move and go with a similar installation of what we did with our Long Easy, whereby we used a thin wing servo. I think we might be able to use that. This is our elevator servo. Now, you can see how it connects to the actual horn itself, and we can see the horn here as well as the servo. What I'm thinking of doing is putting the servos one on each side so we don't have to add this connecting rod at all. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So over here, we have another Rutan aircraft called the Defiant. And if you look carefully, let me zoom in. Notice the setup there. It's got one servo on each side of the canard, and that works really well. It makes for easy access, and it opens up this area in the canopy there for the batteries. I actually have two 4S 4,000 milliamp batteries because it's a push-pull, as you can see by the engine being in the rear and the engine being in the front. So with that in mind, I think we can do the same configuration with this plane here. So I'm going to go ahead and hold off on gluing this horn in place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build the fuselage, and I'm going to see if we can make the configuration work. I'm pretty sure we can, because here's our canard, here's our elevator, and I think if our servo sits here, we should be fine. All right, the excitement never ends here at Plane Fun RC. More to come. All right, friends, as we continue update on the assembly of the canard, what we're looking at right now is the top portion of the canard, and we are going to be putting on a 5-inch width section of fiberglass. And you just need 3/4 ounce. So we've got that on there. Once again, same technique as the wing. We put a little spray adhesive on there, put our fiberglass on. We're going to hit it with 30-minute epoxy and let it dry overnight. All right, more to come. All right, friends, as we continue our update here on the Canard, we have our fiberglass in place, our epoxy over top of the fiberglass, and we're going to go ahead and let this sit overnight, and then we'll go ahead and flip it over and do the other side, and more to come. All right, friends, as we continue our update here on the Canard, you can see that we have placed our fiberglass on the bottom of the Canard. Once again, it's 3/4 ounce fiberglass, and we use the same technique we used previously, which is a little 3M77, then going ahead and putting down the fiberglass, and then using some 30-minute epoxy, thinned out with a little 70% isopropyl alcohol. We're gonna let this sit overnight, and then after that, the Canard is pretty much done for the most part. And we're really nearing the end. We're gonna shift our focus over to the fuselage. More to come.